All right, folks, we're back at the
Good afternoon, Van Nuys.
beautiful Sunday week before. Wow, that was pretty good. That rundown was pretty good.
We're what is today? The Sunday before Halloween.
Yes,
right?
Yes. One of my favorite holidays.
One of my favorite, maybe my favorite.
I would say it was my favorite.
I think it's our favorite.
Yeah, because people, like Christmas and Thanksgiving, people have to be around family and they're miserable, angry.
But during Halloween, you can kill those families, and you can be happy and rejoiceful. And it for people like us that are in this dream life of making movies, and like this is what we've always wanted to do, is dress up or build cemeteries. And
well, that's the one thing that was weird about this whole living in Hollywood or California or LA anyway.
It's just Halloween.
It's Halloween
24/7. It's always Halloween.
And speaking of Halloween, we're going to do Halloween 5 today.
We're doing Halloween 5 just for the Halloween season.
This movie is very confusing.
Very confusing.
Because where does it exactly stand or sit in the pantheon of Halloween for a lot of Halloween fans?
Well, I can say this. Just by Donald Pleasance's appearance in this movie, just because of his aura all over the movie, this is definitely going to be in the top 5.
Okay. Just because he's in it.
Just because he's in it. Is it better than either of the Rob Zombies? Well, that's how you look at it. It's all in how you look at it. Rob Zombie.
I say they're neck and neck.
They're neck and neck.
Yeah. This is a weird one, though.
But this has Donald Pleasance.
Yeah, that actually, you're right. There's a lot of people who would say that his presence makes it Halloween. I think more so than almost Jamie Lee Curtis.
I do too. I agree with you on that. What is your give me your top Halloween movie? You
won't like it.
No, I will.
Okay. I'd say Halloween 2 is better than 1.
I don't hate that. I don't hate that at all.
There's obviously an emotional thing. Like we were saying last week, or the last film we did, it's mostly because I saw it first, before the first one.
Right.
And it seems like a traditional slasher movie versus the first one, which was really like a stalker,
moody, real atmosphere.
And it's weird and I understand the John Carpenter set the world up, and then part 2, I like that it all took place in one place, it's in the hospital and they're stuck there. It's like, what can you do to make it look dark and creepy?
And he plays on how weird and creepy hospitals are.
And there's a lot of cool things, like, when who is that guy, the boy who dresses up like Michael Myers and he gets run into the car and dies?
Ben Tramer?
Ben Tramer.
Yeah, Ben Tramer.
So it's funny because he's the kid who was supposed to be on the date.
Yeah, he was going to go on a date. Yeah.
Okay.
And he doesn't know it. See, it's the same night, so he doesn't know that the murders have taken place already.
He just never shows up.
He was just, he probably, if you think about it, he probably still thinks he's got a date later that night.
Yeah.
Or whenever, later that night with, you got to remember, we were all high schoolers.
Yeah.
You didn't necessarily meet, especially on Halloween. Things might happen first. People have to go do some shit.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, late, is when the kids might sneak out and hang out. He's probably finishing up what he's doing.
Right.
Just doing some goofy trick-or-treating. And then he's going to go and walk over to see, Nancy Loomis and PJ Souls, Linda and Lori and...
Lori was out of the mix, though. She wasn't invited to the party because she was babysitting that night, correct?
But wasn't he... But that's what I'm saying. He was going to meet up with her, like when the parents came back to get the kid.
Right.
I think that's when she was supposed to go meet up with Ben, and it was going to be, or if it did happen, it might happen then.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like in their world, it's like, well, I can't because I'm babysitting.
Right.
But maybe after.
The other thing is that part 2 actually sort of sidetracked this from the beginning to where we are now, which is until Halloween, the newest one in 2018, which was they introduced Laurie Strode as the sister of Michael Myers, which really derailed
In part
it
two,
from that point on. Because isn't Jamie, Danielle Harris's character,
She's
is
the niece. Yeah. I thought that was interesting. See,
I thought it was too, but people hate it.
I thought that the family bloodline thing made a lot of sense because, and we'll get into that when we watch the movie, so I won't get too much into it. But there's things that they set up in 4, and then especially in 5, even though 5 is terrible.
Oh God, it's
where they try to explain it through Gothic
Yes,
terms,
correct.
and I actually liked that.
Yeah.
But then you get Halloween Resurrection after H2O, and H2O was garbage.
And then Laurie Strode had a son.
And then
it's
she
like,
had a
what?
son, and then it's like, what happened to her? Yeah, it was too much. I will say this, and then we'll, I'll say that the first 4 Halloween movies are in
Yes.
that order for me.
Yes, that's the only ones I recognize, by the way.
Number 5, I'll say the new Halloween that came out.
Yeah.
I'll give that number 5. Number 6 will be this Halloween 5.
Okay.
And then
So you actually go 1, 2, 3 in that order.
yeah, so 1 through 4 is in order.
Okay, good.
5 is number 6.
Okay,
And then number 6 is number 5.
okay.
And then
Resurrection.
number 7 is part 6.
Okay.
The last one with Donald Pleasance.
Oh, okay. So you don't recognize any of the ones that don't have Donald Pleasance in it.
It's really hard for me. Well,
Okay.
I mean, the
Resurrection
new one
actually
didn't have
has
it.
pictures of
Right.
Donald Pleasance.
And the
a
new one does
voice
too.
actor. The new one, yeah, they have the voiceover, I guess. The real voiceover versus a guy doing
Exactly.
the voiceover. Apparently, some guy did a voiceover of Donald Pleasant rather than the Donald Pleasance.
If I ever go bald, I want to
Yeah.
play a character like this. A bald doctor. I can do it without being bald, sure,
Yeah.
but just it would look cool.
I think he went a little bit too long on this series. I think he just. I mean, I get that it's a paycheck and everything, and he's known for
But
it.
it's like I think that's got to be every actor's dream, even every filmmaker's dream, is to have that one like character.
He's a classic actor, though.
That it was a classic actor, and he was so good,
Yeah.
but. To have that one thing that, like,
You're known for?
Christopher Reeve was Superman. It might be hard to break from that.
Oh,
But man, that's
hated that.
legendary.
Yeah. So Halloween 5 was directed by a French guy. I think he's French.
What was his name?
His name is Dominique Authanin Gerard.
Ugh.
I'm just saying that. Anyway, he's a really, according to their commentary, the actors, cast, crew, it's strange that he doesn't do a commentary because I'd imagine he would do it. But they, like Europeans tend to interject a lot of weirdness to the movies.
This
to
has
these-
that.
and it's very weird because you remember the 2 cops that are just bungling and boom, like
Right.
that's like he added in those sound effects, and we'll get to that, which is really bizarre. And anyone who's been in this movie is like, well, you want me to do what now?
Right.
And they shot more than they actually used because, according to the commentary and the behind-the-scenes stuff, all they did was just start shooting random things not even on their shot list that day. And then they were like, why are we even shooting this? And it never ended up in the movie.
This movie has like the weirdest beginning.
Yes,
I've never
they
been
redid
able
that ending. Or they redid the beginning.
Yeah, it was so strange.
It's a pickup. Well, what they really did was they pick it up the same way that they did in 1 and 2, which was it happens right after part 4.
Right, exactly.
So they pick it up right after part 4. So anyway, I guess we should start it. And
Let's do it.
ready? You guys, oh, shoot. Okay. So we are about to set it. 3, 2, 1.
Lift off.
And lift off. All right. Mustafa Akkad.
Stuff. Okay, he died,
Yeah.
but his kids
Yeah.
still keep on.
Yeah, he died in a weird way, didn't he?
It's like a bombing or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and his daughter died in that same
But it was by terrorists.
Terrorists, yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it wasn't an American friendly fire thing. That's
no, and that sucks. Imagine the Halloweens we could have gotten with Mustafa still alive.
I know.
Ellie Cornell.
Both
They
still
all like Ellie still, even though she gets unceremoniously killed in this, which is kind of I see her point. She survived 4, only to die like a
Pig.
kind of lame. I mean, it's pretty lame.
It's a lame. Yeah.
You kind of want a pretty good kill.
That's
where
the thing
she
about
fights
this
back.
movie is it it lets you down in a lot of ways.
Yes, correct. I remember being so excited to see it too because it was like I was at an age now. What are we talking about here? 1980.
Well, you know what I remember about 4 and 5 is that they came out like back to back.
Yes, you're right.
They came out back to back, and there was no. I don't remember seeing. I might have for part 4. I might have seen some trailers,
Right.
But I never saw a trailer for part 5. And part 5,
It just came out.
it just came out
wow.
like on
It's
VHS.
yeah.
Like it
so
was
confusing.
And even 4, I'm not sure if 4 was. If I remember it being at least in the theaters,
that was a big one because 3 was such a letdown to a lot of people, right?
that it really fucked
Yeah.
because these two didn't even get much of a theatrical release, and they go straight to VHS, and they just died a death.
Right, correct. And then this new theme song is a little bit too techno for me. This felt like, I mean, they were trying to compete with a bunch of, and now they're using old footage from the 4th one, the end of 4th. Yeah. This cracks me up. He still holds on to the knife. Good work, Michael.
He's a bad motherfucker.
Yeah. Did they switch up the Michael Myers in this one?
Actors?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. But I know that mask is just deadly. It just does not look right.
Yeah, they keep switching it up, yeah.
After
That was pretty weird.
after part 1, the only time they ever got it right was the last one.
Yeah.
They went back to the the William Shatner.
You're talking, in Halloween.
Yeah, the newest one. Oh, Uncle.
Still the clown suit.
Oh shit.
You know, that was one of the good things about 4, is that they actually took Michael Myers coming back seriously. You know?
Yeah, that the cops did.
Yeah, they were like, we're gonna go get him. We believe you, in other words.
He had so screwed up this town that
Haddonfield.
this was like
and this is the new stuff.
Yeah, this is where it's just like
Yes. He gets shot 50 times?
50 times. And I'm okay seeing him crawl away, even though
this is his Shawshank moment.
Even though it like is totally goes against the first couple, because you never see him just get up.
Yeah.
At the end of the first, like you don't see him like crawling away.
Yeah.
Like that's what makes this weird too. Is like, man, he just seems he's like a person.
Yeah.
It's like he needs to be. You can't kill him, kind of a thing. Like.
Yeah.
Like it's a mystery at the end of 1 when he looks out and he's not there anymore. You don't see him get up and walk away.
Well, Donald Pleasance put 6 bullets in him, and then
6 times.
I
shot him 6 times.
And then
I shot him 6 times.
he's not. I don't think he gets much screen time in this, does he? They keep it with the
Donald Pleasance.
Yeah, they keep it with the Danielle. Which, by the way, it's an interesting concept too. Is the child is the lead actress in this, right?
Yeah.
And this guy used to be somebody completely different.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's like
it was like a voodoo.
Yeah,
doctor
I mean,
a witch doctor.
Well, which by itself, like, why would it be voodoo in this small town of Haddonfield?
Yeah, and what
is this? Yeah. Why is there a fucking hermit living in the woods outside of Haddonfield, which is this peaceful little town?
And how would he not know about Michael Myers?
Yeah,
that's the.
And how
the
would they
odd
not
thing.
know about him?
Yeah.
About the hermit?
Yeah.
Like they would have run him off.
And he's
already.
mystical, and
he's like,
he
would be.
He doesn't think anything's wrong.
Exactly.
With this, maybe he feels a kinship to him. Like, hey man, maybe Michael Myers can take over my shack. Yeah. So a guy starts to strangle you, can't do it, and so what do? You get up close to him and see what's up, right?
And he like
nurses him out. Yeah, he nurses him. So what is he doing him for 1 year?
1 year.
What are those two homos doing for 1 year? Sorry.
No, I mean seriously, 1 year. Like, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
That's 1 year later.
Well, they have to kind of figure out to, for her to have the nightmares and. Oh, that's the other thing about this that I agree with Danielle on this one. They turn her into a mute. So they don't have any, like, she doesn't say anything at all.
And that I don't understand.
A couple of things.
I forgot about that.
Yes.
You reminded me.
It's so messed up.
It's like she's so good.
Yeah.
Why would you mute one of the best actors in the movie?
No.
She's a good actress.
Yeah. It's so bizarre.
Sad that she didn't really have much more of a career after this. I mean, she did some stuff, but she
was more than happy to come back and do the next Halloweens, but they didn't want to pay her. Okay, so
this was in.
What's the one with Paul Rudd?
When was
that
this?
one called? This is
No. I mean, like, was that in part 4?
No. It's a different. It's a fake nightmare. Basically,
okay.
They created it for the movie.
Oh yeah.
So this is actually 1989. So just at the cusp of the 90s.
I mean, I think the thing with Danielle Harris is that she was so short, and she still is. That it's
looked like a kid.
Yeah, it's hard. It was probably always hard for her to like kind of break away from that. I remember her doing a few episodes of Roseanne.
Yes, yeah.
You know?
That's true. Yeah, in the 90s, actually. She played their next-door neighbor. So this is what you're talking about when they introduced certain things like
the Curse of Thorn.
Yeah. Is that what it was called?
It's called the Curse of Thorn, and it's...
So he's been lying there for a year.
For a year?
Yeah. Not sure what the hermit was doing. And
you
that's
see
the
his
only
face?
time you ever see Michael Myers' face.
Except for
the first one.
But in the first one, he looks weird, and this one, he looks like a normal dude.
Yeah.
And he should have an eye missing or something.
Yeah. You should have a few things missing.
Yeah. He's coming home.
He can't survive without the mask.
I do like what they did in the new one, which is he's just old. They weren't afraid of showing him like this guy. See, this I just
gonna thank him.
It's not that I care that he's killing this dude.
Yeah.
But
the guy helped him out for a year.
There has to be something. Like a year later, it makes
silly.
no
it's
sense.
So silly.
And I hate, even as a
so
kid,
silly.
and listen, I am such a fan of Halloween and always have been, that as a kid, I was willing to forgive things.
I know.
But I could not forgive that.
Dude.
I remember thinking, like, this does not make sense.
I was 13 when this came out. And as a teen, obviously, we all sort of just, everything's garbage. So when I saw this, I was like, not just because of the year thing. It was like, oh, man, this is so lame. Why is it so lame? And I never understood what, like, it felt like it was slapped together to just get into a theater. Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, it felt like it just, like,
well,
hurry up and
that's why I was curious as to both 4 and 5. Like, did they shoot these back to back?
Yes.
And there must have been. I mean, I'm curious to know, like in comedy or something, but there must have been. There he is.
And he survives.
Like, where
the
is
blast.
he? What?
Yeah. In the fourth one.
Like, where did he come from? What was he doing?
What's he doing in the hospital? That's right.
That is so ridiculous that he just pops up in the emergency room like, no.
Maybe he's connected to her as well. You know, you make a good point. You never think about that.
Like, why would he be?
Yeah, he's waiting.
I mean, look, I could go out on a limb and say, I could believe.
Was he in the waiting room?
That he was in the waiting room because it's Halloween Eve and it's
okay.
Like there's just this. He's a very superstitious. He's very much. He knows that Michael is more than just a human.
Right.
So I can understand him being there,
right.
but that he just suddenly pops up in the emergency room like that. I'm not gonna let that shit happen.
They just let him in too. Let's let the melted face guy in. So they try to establish, reestablish this relationship from the fourth one. Yeah. Now, if you were just watching this and didn't know anything else prior to 1 and this, you're like, who are these people? this is part of the European sensibility that really gets on my nerves.
It is.
She's very
It's
obnoxious.
just weird for weird.
Yeah. Correct.
But
yeah,
tell
exactly.
me you don't love the big hair. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah,
I
it's coming
love
back
it.
actually. Yeah, it's coming
Yeah,
back.
it's coming back. God, that's good. We
do you
finally
think?
lived long enough to see it come
Yeah,
back.
we did.
The big hair's coming back. That means the bush is coming back.
Yeah, it is. It is. It is. What do you think? Danielle Harris has the bush? Yeah.
No, not in this.
Oh, not
No.
in this, but like in
real life.
In real life,
yeah, she's letting it come back.
Yeah. You know, there's an argument that I would argue 4 has its merits though.
What?
Halloween 4, that it would.
Oh, no,
be, I would say.
I dig Halloween 4.
I would say it actually slips before 3.
Oh God, that's tough.
You know what I
3
mean?
is so good.
3 doesn't have Donald Pleasance.
But it's got Tom Atkins, man.
I get it.
That's how you trade.
Ugh.
You know,
I know.
If
I'm
you're not
conflicted.
going to have a
I'm
Donald
conflicted.
Pleasance, I'll take my Tom Atkins.
I'll be honest.
If I
am
can't have
conflicted.
either of them, we'll take a Kurt Russell, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, in that era, probably older. Kurt Russell's a leading man. These guys
Yeah.
are just at the. Tom Atkins is.
Well, a Bruce Campbell, you know?
Yeah.
These are all like
B level. So,
now, if it was just Reggie Bannister,
oh yeah, that'd be a good one.
it would be a good one to
Yeah,
have.
That's a good substitute.
Bald too.
So, you just throw rocks through hospitals. Poor child. Yeah, the note comes. That's a good plan, because here's the thing, Michael Myers just wants to kill his family, right?
Yeah.
Well, if she's dead, who does he have to kill?
Right.
He's done, right? It's over with. Donald Pleasance cracks me up. He's so disgusted by the holiday.
You're afraid the whole thing might.
You know, this movie
Happen
also
again.
this
He's drunk.
this yeah, he is actually.
He's drinking
Bourbon.
Napoleon brandy right now.
He is. According to Danielle Harris, I've heard your commentary.
Oh, she says that?
She said, like, I never knew what that smell was, but apparently it was bourbon.
Man, I think I'm going to start drinking.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to
On
start
set.
drinking on set.
Well, yeah. Once you
Once you pop, you can't stop.
So, okay, so her friend there. Okay, that's the other thing I always hated about these types of movies, like continuations or sequels. She was never okay. Her friend, this is a close friend. Okay, maybe she met her within a year and they became year friends or whatever. But they just bring in new characters that you're like, who the fuck is this person?
Yeah.
Right? Like, should I care?
Well, we care when it's girls
That
like
drove
this.
me
When they're
nuts.
fun. These look. When they're fun girls like this, we do care because we want them to, you know, to.
She tries
To be fun
very
and
hard to
have a
be
good
fun
time.
in this movie.
Um,
And by the way, what was the reason for? I'm always confused about this too. What was the reason for trading Ellie for this other girl? I am so confused about that, because Ellie. Oh, nice. Ellie is like she suffered through 4. You think, hey, leave her in for 5?
well, I mean, I think
There's no reason
obviously
for her not to
is
be.
to get us, you know, just to like,
Oh,
you
the
love her,
shocking
and
death.
then she's dead.
That's
dead.
the Scream thing or
Yeah.
the Psycho thing where they kill off a known actress,
Yeah, at
right?
the beginning,
Just
yeah.
to throw you off. I gotcha. Okay, that's a reason.
I wonder where they shot this.
I think that was in Utah.
Oh no,
Donald Pleasant's a peeper.
it's a mean-looking dog.
But you know what, though? Like, I know I'm bad-mouthing the European director here, but there is... there is... tan lines.
Tan
I
lines.
love me some tan lines.
Tan line. Oh, I saw Bush.
Yeah, that's Bush.
Bush.
See? 90s are back.
The 80s,
Late 80s, early 90s.
early 90s are coming back.
They just did a, what do they call those things where they switch the body?
Body double?
No, when the body falls through, it's called a, they jump off of a tree and then the guy deals down and the stuntman. The stuntman does the stunt, but he falls. And then the other guy pops up. He's like, hey, what's up? It's like a Western
Oh, I know what you're talking
fall
about.
or something like that. Her body
pratfall or something?
No, it's like when they do the switch. It's called the Western switch or something.
Oh, the
like
Western switch.
Where she
sounds like a dance.
She is in the shower supposedly, but then the camera pans over and it's her as the actress Ellie coming out of the shower.
Oh,
They just did a
I see
switch.
what you're saying. Yeah. Uh-oh.
Yeah, this is the. I mean, you invest yourself in part 4, and then this happens, and you're like, "Fuck
And she's
you."
sweet. You don't want to see this happen.
I just looking at the interview, she was upset that this happened, but it was like she's still very proud of being part of the Halloween, the Halloween legend, I guess, or lore.
The nearest door's there.
The call is coming from inside the house. And it's Donald Pleasance.
That's
Yeah,
always
because
look at that. Just
See, this neighborhood looks so different than the one from 1, right?
It does.
Okay, like this garbage is what, like, it's goofy music. That noise, what the hell is that?
Fuck.
Even as a kid, I'm like, what are you doing that for?
And the dude on the left has just got a constant like
Stupid look on his face. They spent a lot of time setting up the fact that she's not going to die, only to die. That is also garbage.
Right. It's definitely
Does K&B does face makeup, right?
yeah.
Okay, so they did that burn.
Yeah,
for his
they
face.
did probably like all the gore effects in this.
Yeah. They actually trimmed down the gore in this.
Oh yeah.
The other thing, okay, so one of the things I remember from 4 and 5 after watching 1 through 3, even 3 is not that. It's just creepy. It's
Yeah.
creepy. People coughing up orange juice and stuff.
What, in 3?
In 3, yeah. They're, when the androids
Oh
get
yeah,
killed,
yeah,
they're
yeah.
coughing up orange
Yeah,
juice.
yeah.
Or the dummy in the chair, and you're like, turns
But,
around, you're like, whoa,
I
that's
mean,
creepy.
look, 3.
It's creepy.
After revisiting it again, which I do every year.
Yeah.
3 is just
You just saw that recently.
damn
so
fun. Yeah, and Tom Atkins was there.
I argue that it's the most Halloween of Halloweens because it actually talks about Halloween lore.
And now I will say you're right. It does. It's a very Halloween.
The Silver Shamrock Company is trying
yeah.
to pull off the biggest prank
Right.
because they can. They think it's funny.
Because
It's awesome.
yeah, even Halloween's original title was just the Boogeyman.
Yeah.
So putting it on Halloween was just it was a kind of a whim almost.
Yeah.
Like, let's just put it on this
Yeah,
so
exactly.
it makes it, we can have a little bit of a thing. But it would have worked
Any other
just
time,
being
yeah.
the Boogeyman.
Yeah.
But, of course, Halloween, if it's your favorite,
Yeah.
it's like my favorite thing, so it just adds more to it.
So Halloween, the movie itself, Halloween 3 talks about the lore of it, Sam Hain and all that stuff. And 2 does kind of touch upon it, but nothing as like 3. 3 is the
3 is just where it's...
the Halloween
God.
mask. It's
Even the way he moves is so weird.
yeah, it's weird.
He's not. It's almost like he's a big child in there or
Yeah.
something. He's,
And it's lit weird too. I'd have to say it's just lit weird. And I think it's because the first 3 were shot scope anamorphic because
Oh, yeah.
John Carpenter just loves that widescreen, and this is like Super 35 or actually this looks actually more 185. So there's something kind of cheap looking about this, discount.
it
4 and
does.
5 looks discount,
Yeah, it does.
You know?
It's.
even though 1 through 3 were, or 1 and 2 were actually considered low budget.
Well, I
movies.
think they probably. If I had to guess, 3, kind of hurt the series. So I guess maybe they thought, well, if we make these, we still have the name to bring in audiences. So
Yeah,
if
it
we make
didn't
them
matter.
really cheap,
Yeah.
but then that just hurts you. That
1
just
through
kills you.
1 through 3 was shot by Dean Kundi,
Oh
the
God.
guy who shot
Back to the Future.
Back to the Future.
And other things.
He shot
A lot of Spielberg stuff.
yeah. Jurassic Park actually.
Yeah.
So he It makes a difference. It makes a difference.
I mean, how lucky was? Oh God, look at this. It just looks
Lame.
like why in her shoulder? Like
Yeah.
it's
Even Palmer, what's her name from Friday the 13th? Got a screwdriver to the brain. It's a little bit more respectable than
Who was it?
Pair of scissors.
Oh, PJ Souls.
No, Palmer from the first Friday the 13th.
Oh, Betsy Palmer.
Not Betsy Palmer.
No.
Oh God, what's the first girl?
Oh, you're talking about the second.
Yeah, the
this
second,
part
sorry.
two.
Yeah, part two,
yeah,
yeah.
the lead actress. I
Yeah.
can't remember her name, but yeah, she gets it
Yeah.
in the temple.
Never saw that. Nothing, no expression, blank. My memory goes back to years.
He's committed. He's really committed.
I mean, he is. God, just disgusting. Oh no.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know where this house is, but it's cool.
Yeah.
Kind of looks like the house from It.
It doesn't. Yeah.
The original,
Yeah.
the TV It.
But it doesn't feel like it belongs in the Halloween world. For some
It
reason.
doesn't. It's red. It's like
Something
it doesn't
is-
feel like.
Yeah, something doesn't feel right. It feels more sort of like small town.
God, I love brunettes.
Yeah. Feels like small town something else, not Haddonfield.
Right. Well, it seems almost too cold for Haddonfield. Almost.
It also
like,
feels Western. Like it doesn't feel Midwestern. It feels Western, like somewhere. It just doesn't. Feel
actually,
right.
I was thinking it felt east, like northeastern.
Yeah.
You know, like that,
Like
just kind of.
Maine?
Yeah, like Maine or something.
Vermont.
Oh.
What do you think, Cyndi Lauper? Big
Well,
old
this is
influence?
definitely their. They got to have a Nancy Loomis type, so this is her.
Yeah.
What was her name? What was Nancy Loomis's name in the first one? I'm blanking.
She was
Annie.
married. Yeah, Annie.
Annie
Yeah.
Brackett. Shame on me for forgetting that.
Yeah. You suck. Now the other thing is, okay, all the girls from the first one, right? They had parents and they had siblings, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
None of them ever show up on any of these other ones ever again. It's kind of strange, right? Does the Brackett family show up?
Well,
He's
in
the
the
cop.
second one, he.
Which one is
yeah.
the cop?
Yeah, in the second one,
Yeah.
he's at the beginning. He's pulling out her body, and they're like, "Go home,
Yeah.
go home." I don't think he comes back in it though. I'm trying to remember. I don't believe so. I don't believe he comes back and it makes sense because the cop just lost his daughter. He's going to be,
Yeah. It's just weird that no one ever introduces that side of the family. Only Laurie Strode's family apparently is the...
Well, it's got to tell you something. I mean, about divorce rates
Yeah.
because in the first one we do see a good number of parents. There is like but you don't see any in the second one.
Yeah.
But almost like slasher movies in general. I mean, Nightmare on Elm Street.
Well, okay.
parents are divorced.
Let me put it this way. Okay, you'll get this. Okay, in the first one, Dr. Loomis has a person a reporter that he talks to, right? Just to get some of that exposition out,
Ooh.
right?
Yeah.
She shows up in Resurrection, or what's that other? She shows up in one of the
H2O.
H2O
And Resurrection.
and Resurrection she just has one moment with Dr. Loomis, and
You're talking about
the
Lori.
smoking chick.
Yeah.
Yeah, the chick who smokes the nerd.
Oh, wait a
yeah.
minute. No. Oh, I'm
The
sorry.
she's a news writer or journalist or some shit.
Yeah, she's in the
She
second
gets
one. She's
killed-
in the second one.
Kind
She's the journalist in the second one, right?
Yeah, but she doesn't. She survives that one.
Yeah, because she's not.
She's
Yeah. and
never in these two.
She's
and then
not-
she shows up again.
Which one does she show up in?
She shows up in either Resurrection or H2O. I think it's H2O, because no. What's the one with What's that little kid? Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Whichever the one where he plays a kid, and he's a little kid in that. And Yeah, she gets killed in that one. And it's like,
Was it part
who
6?
cares? Yeah.
Maybe
It's
six?
part. Yeah, I think it's part 6.
Well,
We'll have
well,
to look that up.
Paul Rudd was in part 6.
Was it? Then it wasn't part 6. I think it was H2O. I want to say it's H2O. But anyway, so my feeling is, okay, so you have that nurse in there or the journalist in there for that one, and then you continue that, like we're supposed to remember who she is from the first and second one.
Right. Well, I think for
Just
fans,
kind of a throwaway.
I think for fans they would. And it's kind of like
Absolutely.
like the Tommy Jarvis in a sense. But
Yeah.
Tommy Jarvis was a character that had was substantial. They would have needed to bring the reporter chick, whatever, or the assistant chick back and have her. Because she was in the first one. She was in the first one at
Yes,
the beginning.
correct.
She was in
Yeah.
the second one.
Yes.
And then she came back again. And so I think, she's got to be. It would have been cool to keep her coming back.
Right.
As like
Well,
carrying on the good doctor
Okay.
work.
Oh, yeah. That would have made a lot more sense.
She was a nurse,
She's the
and
only one. I think she was a journalist, if I remember correctly. It's just a weird, like, what?
Is he behind the trees?
Sluts.
That's weird what they're trying to do. They're trying to give you more instances of him creeping around the corner and stuff.
Yeah. Again, they shot more than what they used, and a lot of the stuff that they shot was never going to be used.
Oh, this dude sucks.
So weird. What gave you that impression that he sucks? Is it his round glasses, sunglasses?
Yeah, it's
Or
like
his
what is
douchebag
he?
jacket?
It's like a Jay Leno. It's like a John Lennon.
Yeah.
Greaser.
50s. Would you think any of these people would hang out with each other? Especially with Ellie?
Well, no.
Ellie
I mean,
be
this
like,
guy
"These
who's trying to
people
do
are
like a
douchebags."
'60s greaser or something. It's weird, like
Douchebags.
a hippie greaser.
What is she hooked up to? So he was in, it was H2O that they were in.
Oh, okay.
And that reporter was in that one. Yeah, people are probably sitting at home just screaming like, it's H2O, you assholes. If you didn't know she was, throwback. They just need a line of laundry hanging before you see that part of it. Now, that's the other
She's
thing.
so good because she's so cute and
Expressive.
expressive and genuine.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's like it's really hard to like. I like watching. Like you watch this. It's like okay, I like this.
Yeah. The chase.
She's good,
Yeah.
and you can tell because the movie is shit, but yet you want to watch her.
Yeah.
She makes this scene.
Yeah. It's like a little adult. What is that? Yeah, there's no reason for a lot of this.
God.
Which, how did he get through that door for one thing?
Yeah, he's so
Wait a
fast
minute.
now.
Wait a minute.
He's really fast now.
Yeah, this is the stuff where I think this is the stuff that really sticks with the script, you know?
Right. I mean, this is I don't mind this shot. I think this is a cool little moment. It's freaky.
Yeah, freaking you out. Being chased. I'm not sure about the music though. Really don't like the way that they did this version of it. So keyboard, like it's a cheap keyboard.
Yeah.
Like really?
What?
Haha, psych.
That was freaky. That was good. I'll give it that.
Yeah.
That one was okay.
It's
That
not
wasn't
like
bad.
It's not like he couldn't be like, "Hey, it's me. What are you running from?" The guy. So in this one, the other thing they introduce is a psychic connection to
Uncle Myers.
yeah, Uncle Mike, Uncle Mikey. Yes.
He's gonna beat the shit out of
Yeah.
her. Beat her.
I need some info.
Slap that bitch.
I need some info. You need to talk, bitch. Give me that teddy bear. Rip the head off of it.
Yeah.
That's
I'll
what's
treat
gonna
you
happen
like
to
this,
you.
motherfucker.
Yeah. Loomis goes street.
The makeup is good. I like it.
At that age, I would feel really kind of bad that every day he has to show up and put that on.
You can kind of see the the top of the makeup a little bit, but
Yeah.
it's still good.
Yeah.
I mean, I forgive it.
Goes with the skin. They got the skin tone right, which is
Yeah, they
very, very
did.
good. What do you think people would act like today if they saw a doctor just grabbing a kid and just shaking the shit out of him?
They'd in today's time
Yeah.
they would
Call security?
they would arrest him,
Beat him?
beat him, send him to jail, and then have a trial for him.
Well, for him, he's been through an explosion. He's been through fistfights with Mike Myers. I think he could handle a couple of cops that want to
I mean,
suppress him.
Here, this is where it's
This
like,
is weird.
This adds an element. I'll give it that.
Hey, it's your
but-
drugstore.
Hey, it is. It's my drugstore.
What were they thinking? You have to wonder. Like, this is part of the
Just
what I was
a
telling about.
rhinestone
They just decided to
cowboy.
shoot something to continue whatever this is. Like what? And that's the other thing about European cinema, European filmmakers. They love this wide-angle lens for the warp effect. You see how wide and warped
Is this
that
supposed
looks?
to be the Myers house?
I think so. Yeah, it is.
That is
Looks nothing like it.
garbage.
Looks nothing like it.
I mean, that's truly right there. I forgot about that.
It's either
that
the Myers house or the Strode house.
either one. It doesn't look
any of
anything
them.
like
I
it.
know. They should have shot at the. This was the same design as in 4, I think. Whatever
Is this
4
in
was.
Haddonfield?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It is.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, where the, I just, like, that looks okay because I think that kind of is like sort of an interior from the, I could see maybe that, but some of the, I mean, I could see like, they renovated it over the years. Okay. But the outside looked like it looks like it's in Vermont or something. I mean, it looks like an old school Salem witch house or something.
Huh? I think they may have had redesigned it so that they can do certain things for the ending. It's a Killer Kane. Yeah, because this will come into play later. Brand spanking new. The shoot.
Why does he look in there anyway?
Yeah, right.
Do you think Michael's hiding down there?
Yep.
Oh, it's
Introducing
the other
more
dude.
mystery that they never come back to ever.
They, in the 6th one, they do.
Do they?
They do come back to this dude in it. At the end, I mean, you see just this guy's hand and his silhouette the rest of this movie, but they do come back in 6, and it just, by the time 6 came around, it was just the fun had been gone, had
Oh
been
my
sapped
God.
from the series.
It is confusing once they start going with subtitles rather than numbers.
Yeah.
Because I can't tell you which one's Resurrection and which one's H2O.
Well,
I think there's one more in there that I
so
can't
Halloween
even
4 is the return.
return. This is Revenge.
This is Revenge. Halloween 6 is the Curse of Michael
Curse.
Myers.
That's it.
Halloween 7
forgot
is
Curse.
H2O. Halloween 8 is Resurrection.
Okay.
Halloween 9 technically is the one we just got.
Yeah.
Because the
Then
Rob Zombie
ones
Halloweens
part
are
of
their
it.
own
Yeah, I don't think it's part
universe.
Of it. Yeah. Little jump scare there. Like, what is the purpose of this scene?
I don't know.
Just to
It's.
give you a scare? Fill out.
I mean, look. Even the high school looks different.
It looks so different.
I mean, the town just does not look
yeah,
like
the grass is
Haddonfield.
weird. It looks like it's not even. It doesn't even look like autumn.
It doesn't. This guy's stupid.
Like again, why bother doing? And now you see the camera guys. Why bother doing that? Like what's the, you know? One of the best parts about Halloween is autumn, and it's kind of missing that sensibility.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
They kind of touch up on it a little bit later in the movie, but again, I ask you, would any of these people hang out with each other?
No.
And by the way, they're supposed to be in high school.
I know. The girls I could see, but these two guys look like
No.
they're like in their 20s.
Yeah,
Hey.
the two goofball cops. I mean, they tried. If you were asked to be in a Halloween film, would you do it?
Oh, hell yeah. You kidding?
If you were asked to,
Can you
after-
imagine
after
if I
reading
was in
this
a
script? After reading this script, would you want to be in it?
Here's a better question.
All right,
And it's not the same like,
sir.
would I, if they were going to remake the original with the same type of basic story, kind of like how Rob Zombie did, except kind of keep it closer to how the original was done, but the part offered to me was that of Dr. Loomis,
Yeah.
would I do it?
Oh,
Because that's sacred
Yeah.
ground.
yeah.
Because the Rob Zombie was its own thing. They
Yeah.
explained it, so they changed up the Dr. Loomis. But if they were to remake the first, but still keep the same idea, it's basically a remake. It's like you don't have his backstory. The Dr. Loomis character is a desperate soul.
Yep.
Would I do that? You're damn right I would. But that would be the craziest
You'd have
shoes to fill.
Yeah, you would have to endure a lot of the garbage that comes.
That'd be
with
like
this.
being asked to play Frank Sinatra in a movie.
Yeah. You know, I thought about what.
It's like, and he's scratching his car. Like, Michael Myers didn't care about that shit.
Yeah.
Freddy Krueger cares about
killing.
that shit.
Yeah, killing douchebags. Yeah, what was the point of killing this guy? By the way, like, what is the point of killing this guy?
Just letting the audience see him die like this.
No. So
Because
here's
he's so shitty, you just want to see him die.
So is this day? Okay, we get in here during the daytime. This is daytime, right?
That's not bad. I don't hate that, but
The effect is cool.
we're just glad that he's dead.
Yeah, I'm not sure you would die that quickly, would you? You'd run around with a chicken with his head cut off for a while, I'd imagine. Oh, and of course, her
gotta be
worst
different.
holiday
Yeah.
is Halloween, and they say, "Hey, we'll throw you a party." Oh, you dress up.
Her and her little special friend who's like, these are.
Oh, that's right. That's the other thing. So I started laughing about this. They made her mute and him stutter.
Yeah.
Why?
Why? It makes no
Why
sense.
make him a
I mean, well,
stutter?
they're trying to connect
cares?
that he's got
An affliction?
an affliction.
Okay.
It's oh, fuck. They're gonna fuck later. They're gonna fuck later.
We shall see. Let's see. Everybody's parents here. Oh, wait. We don't. Her parents aren't here. Too bad.
I'll tell you a good couple's costume. The guy dresses up like Michael Myers, and the girl dresses up like Donald Pleasance.
I like that. The bald cap and everything.
Yeah, I mean, the girl could do Laurie, but it'd be hard to. You'd have to do the '70s Laurie, with she'd have to go full out '70s costume because
Right.
if you just do a girl that's, if that's just being, it's got some blood on her, like she's been chased, people are, they'd get it, but it would be kind of cheap. It'd be a
Yeah.
cheap sell.
You know what really truly bothers me about this movie more than anything else is just the way it's made. Like there's something really deliberate about the first one that you can tell the people who made it are really, really like filmmakers.
Yeah.
The ones who made this look like how people would make movies today, which is kind of sloppy. It feels sloppy.
It's very sloppy.
The first one felt, even though they were rushed and hurried and all that.
You mean the very first
The very
one?
first one.
Yeah. Oh, well, it's masterfully made. Masterfully made.
But under
Like
such limitations.
super limitations.
So
super crazy limitations.
why does
3
that
weeks,
feel
they
so
had
much?
20 days to shoot it.
That feels like a bigger budgeted movie than this piece of
In
shit.
April, carry around all the leaves.
Yeah.
And pick them up
Yes.
after every shot.
Yes.
Dedicated people.
Yes.
People that showed up.
Yeah.
Like the only person that was making any money was Donald Pleasance on
Yeah.
that. I mean, as far as like
Yeah.
day rates and stuff like that, or rates. And like, why
It's
put
so
on,
much more
This is supposed to be a joke, and it's
well
not
made.
funny.
It's so not funny. It like you're supposed to feel a little bit of tension, and you're like, whatever. I hope she dies. Like it's so they just this is so bizarre.
It's very bizarre. Like, why put on a different mask?
Yeah.
It takes.
Yeah,
away.
that's right. That's the other thing. He switches out masks. Like really? And this isn't where she gets it though.
Here's a good couple's costume for Halloween. Okay,
Let's hear it.
you take Nightmare on Elm Street, but you go as Nancy's parents.
Let me think here. Oh, Ronnie Blake.
Yeah, Ronnie Blake, but she's got so it's got to be Ronnie Blakely in the night dress,
Yeah.
or her, maybe with a bottle.
Bottle, yeah.
And then it's got to be John Saxon with Ronnie Blakely.
Well,
and then
he's in a cop.
Cop uniform, and he's got to have a glass of booze because they're both
he a drinker
alcoholics.
too?
Oh, he's a huge drinker in that.
Oh, okay.
I mean, they show his drinking in part 3,
Right.
but you know that he's a drinker.
So this cat here, the mysterious steel-toed boot cowboy. What do they call him in this?
I forgot. They may not even say anything. They may not even call him. I think the credits have him as like the
Spiritual?
stranger.
Yeah,
or
the
something
stranger,
Like
yeah.
that.
Like this.
This is not
so
Haddonfield.
Weird.
This is
No.
like it's industrialized
Yeah.
Haddonfield.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
what
yeah.
is that?
Yeah. Well, keep in mind we were watching from 79 78 until 94. That seems like a callback to when he stops in that car. The nurse
Oh yeah, from the first one. Yeah, hey jerks,
Yeah, hey, jerks.
speed kills.
Right.
I mean,
exactly.
yeah, there
that feels
is
like
that.
that feels like a callback.
It's definitely a callback. It's almost like they're like you said, when they were shooting everything. They're just trying. Like, why did he just?
Yeah.
They're just trying to shoot everything because they don't know what they're doing.
They don't know what they're doing. They have no idea. And it's weird because I would figure, well, you know what? Mustafa Akkad kind of kept his fingers off this thing, right? They
Yeah.
just wanted to keep going. Because I've
Cash
heard,
cow.
yeah, definitely a cash cow. But I've heard that
Isn't that
he
sad?
said,
Go ahead.
whatever you do, you cannot kill off Michael Myers in any of this.
Because here's the thing.
So what's the fucking...
That brings me to this point,
All right.
ladies and gentlemen, whoever listens to this, cats, dogs, pigs, whoever's listening
Crazy
to this.
people. Drunks and retards.
Back in the day, in the 70s, early 80s, whatever, you could be a rich person like a Mustafa Akkad and actually invest in a movie a little bit of money
Yep.
that means nothing to you and actually have a chance of making a huge investment for the future.
Yeah.
Mustafa Akkad did that. He gives a little money for Halloween. It becomes a huge hit.
Yep.
Forever. He owns
Yeah.
the rights, and it's his baby, and it's a great investment. People just don't do that shit anymore.
But it was so funny
And they do
because-
on the high level, obviously, but they don't like.
Well, to be fair, though, they actually were a distributor. So they kind of had, to
Who?
them, not Mustafa Akkad, but the other...
Erwin Yablans
Yeah,
and
correct, yeah.
Compass.
So they were
no,
like-
not Compass, but
Yablans went and
The
said,
Mint or
listen,
whatever.
I need $300,000 to make this movie. And they're like,
Yeah.
you can't make this movie for $300,000 or something
But
else,
he
like
got- well,
$500,000. He
no,
goes,
he-
well, he'll do it for $300,000.
Yeah, no. He tested. He says, I remember us watching that documentary. Erwin
Yeah.
was testing him. He said, I knew that if I say, it's something like
$500,000,
he was
yeah.
like, it was to get that extra 100,000 or
Yeah.
something. He's like, well, but he whatever it was to test his like machoism, and then Mustafa's like,
right,
oh
right,
yeah,
right, yeah,
I'll give you the
pride.
money.
Yeah, the
and but he
pride.
knew his pride.
Cutting
I
into
forgot
his
what the story was
ego.
exactly, but it had
Yeah.
something to do with they wanted the 300,000.
Yeah.
And he knew he could get the money, but he wanted to
Kinda challenge him.
Yeah, challenge
Yeah.
him to make sure that he would actually give it.
Right. Because to him, it wasn't that much money.
It wasn't, but he was also kind of like, I think he was a little scared to do it or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. But
Well,
the point is,
I don't think Yablin's actually believed it would be made for $300,000.
Right.
I think he was just
Johnny
'cause there was
C
no
knew what
way.
he was doing.
But Johnny C wanted to prove a point too, because after Assault on Precinct 13, I mean, that was like going backwards.
He knew, Carpenter knew after that, he knew, I can deliver a hit. And Carpenter was smart, because a lot of people wouldn't do this now. They're too chicken shit. They don't have the balls to say what Carpenter said, which was like, I'll tell you what, I'll do this movie for $300,000, super on the low.
Right.
It'll be great and everything, but I want Final Cut and my name above the movie. And that's the ballsy part. And he delivered, and it made a shit ton of money.
For $300,000, they didn't give a fuck about what he did. That's the best thing.
But now it's like, we can't find some fucking dentist out there that's like, oh yeah,
There
I got
are some people who do that, though. There are some people,
Well,
but
we gotta
there's
find
too
somebody.
far and few between. The one thing is like, okay, here's the
Let's find a
other part.
dentist.
Here's the other part of that's what the Raimi brothers did, right? Sam and Ted.
Oh, I don't know.
That's how they made
I'm
it,
sure
yeah.
it's something like that.
That's how they made Evil Dead. But the thing about
Maybe I should have talked to all these old people that was on the
bus?
tour bus with
Yeah.
me, and been like, hey,
So they
they were all Australians too.
Oh,
so
were they?
Who knows? They might have had some scratch.
But the other thing is like
Yeah?
you don't want to
Yeah?
be
You
a
did-
swindler.
Die haar? Yeah, I know.
So the other thing about that is that a lot of what does she do? Is that like a Paul Rubens impression?
What?
What was she was doing? It's so weird.
Oh, look at this guy's fucking face.
They're just hanging out. So
Now that's one thing I don't see a lot of in movies anymore when they cast. Now it's like they really, like when they cast a cop, they got to look like a cop.
Yeah.
Instead of these, you're taking work away from good actors like this and giving them to people who can act that are just like, they're just fucking ogres and stuff.
So one of the things is like I don't think it being a film guy who invests in movies anymore. It doesn't feel like they respect the cinema anymore. So they don't necessarily put all that money into it, like they used to. And because it used to be a real good investment. Not a real good investment, but an investment that you could be proud of. But now there's so much content out there, they don't even know how to spread their money and who to trust, because everybody knows all the ways to swindle people. Yeah, it's not the brightest thing to do when you just run away from the. Oof. That kid's terrible. Oh, yeah. Oh, 1989, 90s. This is the best. You would hope that they would, you would hope that that person would actually be a personality that people would remember. She's just right now. I just remembered that she was in this film. Yeah. Michael Myers is logging in a lot of mileage on this. He's driving around town. Should probably go out and get some travel. I was just commenting on how Michael Myers was just driving around town in his
I was shitting
car for a while. He's driving all over town.
That's
Okay, here's the other thing. Do you think the guy who made this,
Oh God.
or the people who wrote it, ever watched any of the Halloweens prior to this?
No.
Okay. I don't think they were fans. And not to say that fans would make the best version of this, but like I just feel like you had to have a little bit of knowledge from the first three.
You have
right?
to. It's like research. You have to like know what kind of style you're looking for. But look, I mean, oh
Like,
my
what
God.
is this?
What are they playing?
Yeah, it's like
Is that Padonky Donk?
Tiddlywinks.
Oh God.
Like we're spending way too much time on things that don't matter. You know what I mean?
Now I will say, look at this.
They should have
First
shot,
of all, what
shot
they
him.
just blew? They
Yeah, they
blew
just
his
shot
brain.
him, yeah.
They would have killed that motherfucker.
Oh yeah, they should have done that.
But let me ask you something. Her and then the other girl.
Yeah.
They're doing. These are their versions of sexy costumes.
Yes.
That ain't how it is anymore. Now
Yeah.
nowadays, you just basically they wear panties and a bra
Yeah,
and then
pretty
like a
much.
devil horn
Yeah.
or something.
This
I mean,
is- yeah, this
look
is
at this.
Spank-
She's like covered up.
Yeah, this is Spank Bank material back in 1889.
In 1989,
Yeah.
this is where this is, oh God, look,
So-
they're a sexy maid and a sexy devil.
Oh yeah.
Nowadays, it's just, I mean, they got,
Oh,
their
God.
asshole showing
Yeah,
and
it's great.
their nipples
Yeah.
just sticking out through.
We've evolved.
Yeah.
I would say.
We've evolved as a species.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's like, does this really feel like a Halloween movie?
No, because
Doesn't
now
feel
it's
like a
got a
Halloween
Friday
movie
the
at all.
13th vibe.
Yeah.
With the barn and the
Yeah,
hay.
Exactly. Yeah, that was a misstep right there. Yeah.
I mean, this is like part 3 from Friday the 13th,
Yeah.
you know?
Well,
It's
3, 4,
4,
5.
yeah, exactly. 5.
Not 6. 7.
7, no. Maybe?
not 7.
No.
8 is in New York.
8's in New York.
It's like they just start vamping for time. There's no
What the fuck
rhyme
are they
or
doing?
reason.
Who cares
Yeah,
about
who cares
these
about
cats?
this?
I mean, that's the one thing they got right that's still, still prevalent today. Every goddamn thing is cats, kitties.
Yeah.
All the memes, all the
Oh.
Facebook posts.
Yeah.
It's still like that. It's never ending. Women love their cats.
Yeah.
I could say
like
women
to-
love their pussy.
Yeah. Pretty much. They like to take care of it.
I can't stand cats. Love
Yeah.
pussy, but can't stand cats.
Like,
Oh,
what is
God.
what? Why? You guys have a whole party you can get drunk at, get high. You're
I do
chasing
like-
a cat.
Do what?
She's chasing a cat.
I know. There he is. You see him? Oh my God. Oh my God.
Now, here's the other thing. Okay, so now I go, hey Vince, you want to be in a Halloween movie? We're going to remake it, and the director is saying to you, directing you to do these bizarre things. Do you go along with it?
Well, I mean, look, I'm a whore. So yeah, I mean, if I'm in a remake of Halloween, I got to imagine that my career is going to get further along.
Sure,
So,
people are actually going to see
so
it.
I'll take it, but but if I was,
I mean, look
if
what
I had a
happened to
name,
her, though.
if I already had a name and they were like, hey, we're doing a remake, we want you to play Dr. Loomis.
Dr. Loomis.
And and I've already, I mean, at that point, I will have already established a name. If they're
Yeah.
going to come to me to play this iconic character, so I probably wouldn't. I'd probably be more feisty than to be like creatively.
Well, I ask that
trying
only
to
because look
get
at the
my
look at
viewpoint
the people
across.
in this project. Him, her. Do you know any of these people
No,
ever?
no,
So
I don't think they. I mean,
was it worth it?
They must have continued. Did they do anything after this?
Not really. But that is also the industry, you know? It's like we're talking about 1989. If you were talking about 2019, you know?
Well, here's the thing. This is 1989.
Yep.
Horror movies that are still making a shitload of money. Not all of them, but but enough are, and there are tons of slasher movies being made. So at this point, Halloween, it's kind of convoluted to say it like this, but you have to remember Halloween they didn't know that series were going to be reborn again at this time. At this time, they're thinking that
we're just gonna go
the
sequel to
Halloween
sequel,
series
then
is
be
a
gone.
dead series that's just so
They never thought to reboot it.
right. They never thought about rebooting it. They never thought about
Up until Rob Zombie.
And so all these actors and actresses, they're just thinking they're due to them. Halloween 5, they know the lore, but they also think that it's just dead. Like, who gives a shit about it anyway?
Right. Disposable.
It's disposable so in a way
That's really sad because they have not gotten the earful from the fans.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because they never heard about this.
Exactly. So it's like,
because if you think about like the way that Halloween is made, that one with the 2018 one, it's really like, oh God, this is so bad. Okay. But it's really like a film by committee. Because what did they say? They didn't want to disappoint the fans at all. It's like you can't make a movie just saying, I don't want to disappoint the fans. Just make a good movie.
It just becomes a goofy movie.
Yeah.
It's like the Star Wars movies. They don't want to disappoint the fans, but they're retelling the same stories.
You get a derivative film. You know? Which is really sad because you are at the mercy of the fans that this is created from.
Right.
Which is, I mean, you brought up the good point. It's like you have the shadow of Dr. Loomis. Say if you play him, you have to deal with all the backlash from the...
If you don't get it right, or you don't capture something.
Donald Pleasant's character, they're going to be like, this guy's a piece of shit.
Yeah. Damn, she likes it. She likes it.
So, but with these guys going, like, I would say in 2019, if these people played the same character they did, they would probably have more of a career or a launching pad for a career.
Well, yeah, and it's...
Versus 1989.
Exactly, because Halloween has become a big name again.
Yeah.
It's come back. It'd be kind of like if... Okay, here's a good example. So remember a few years ago, I came over here and you helped me with an audition for the sequel to I Spit on Your Grave.
Yeah.
It was called it was I Spit on Your Grave 2, like Deja Vu or something like that. It was a weird title, but
they're gonna make
that's a movie that if they had not made that remake, that wasn't that bad. I actually kind of actually I didn't see the remake. I take that back, but I heard that it was despicable. But oh God, he's got her panties off. Oh, he's got her panties off. He's got her little panties off.
Good work.
Mm-hmm. Stick it in.
Though this is
he
probably
just
one of
stuck
the
it
most
in.
awkward, like, I don't want to show my tits scene.
Oh, fuck. Oh no, he hasn't put it in yet.
Yeah.
She didn't have in condoms. He's like, I got a straw. I got a piece of straw. Oh, he's got a condom.
A piece of straw.
Oh man, he's protected.
He's gonna wrap one of those cats. He's gonna wrap one of those cats around his dick. There you go.
Oh, that's not how I do it. That's
No.
weird. He's making weird faces.
Yeah.
He doesn't.
This
like
is a very awkward sex scene.
Just let us see it.
Yeah. Dr. Loomis is peeking in.
Yeah, he's looking.
I guess, that's
Oh.
so strange.
Right up his ass.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
It's also like in this era, the 90s, where they started to be very, very cautious about getting the ratings they wanted, Nowadays, violence, people don't really... You can see a lot more now. Like, this would be PG-13 now,
Oh, yeah, this would be nothing. Well, but going back to what I was saying, though...
Oh, yeah.
If
I
they...
Spit on Your Grave, too?
If that movie, if the remake had never been done,
Mm-hmm.
and they were just doing that sequel... that I was auditioning. nobody would even give a shit about it, because I Spit on Your Grave is one of those movies that the original is legendary,
Yeah.
kind of, but
It's cult.
it's very cult, very subversive, because it's a very graphic movie.
Yeah.
And so you're not going to get much of a name if you do the sequel to that. Now the remake is different because it's got a studio behind it. It's got money. It's it's going to get shown.
Yeah.
Oh no.
They cut away before the actual violence, which kind of sucks.
Uh-huh.
It's kind of awkward having an old lady watch all these young people getting it on.
Am I going to dress up for Halloween this year? Maybe I will.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to drive Lyft a little bit, but
Yeah.
but I'll probably be in costume just to get a little flavor.
So where exactly are these two knuckleheads going?
I'm going out into the grass.
Yeah.
Dumb
move, kids. Like, see, there was no reason for her to be this character. They could have easily had Ellie be the person.
It's
like,
a
what?
real shame that there's got to be... Oh, she's filthy.
Yeah. She wants
Let
to
me
watch.
show you.
Yeah. Hey, you guys
There's
are fucking.
gotta
Let
be
me
a-
come watch.
Yeah, you guys are she doing it right?
Yeah.
Watch.
I got to see if it's done right. Like, why would you? Like, what's the point of? Anyway.
There's got to be a way for filmmakers there's no more drive-ins. There's no more exploitation venues, I should say. There needs to be that. People need to be able to make movies and see if they can turn a profit, or at least make their money back. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, with an investment with, like, let's say it's only $300,000, you got to be a real idiot not to get your money back. I mean, for $300,000.
But where are you going to put it?
Yeah, VOD.
Well, but I don't even know how
it.
you. I don't even think
Stream
you
on
get,
Amazon.
I don't know how you get money back from that.
Yeah.
Unless you're established. I'm talking like there.
I guess we're supposed to assume that
What's missing, I think, is you need somebody to be a Roger Corman type or you need somebody that even if they start making they direct the movies themselves.
Yeah.
In today's cheap world of being able to do this, there needs to be somebody that can make movies.
Yeah.
Not shit. I mean, not like for $5,000, but
Right.
if they're going to pay
Wasn't that what they do with
80
the,
to 150 grand now, you've got to
Asylum
be able
movies.
to make what?
the Asylum movies, or Blue, or
But they've got
the Moon, Full Moon.
well, but they're established. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm talking like there's so many filmmakers out there. And look, I don't think that if somebody makes a movie
Right.
for 15 grand, and they're just making it around their hometown and it's no good, well, I think that there should
That
be a
happens
venue
a
for
lot.
them, but I don't know if they're necessarily going to make their money back. But people that actually raise 60 or 100 grand to make a really low budget movie,
Yeah.
they're going to put in time and effort. There's got to be a venue for these things to be able to be seen, for these people to make a little bit of money.
Right. I don't know. I have a friend who just made a feature film. I should probably ask him what he's planning on doing, because a lot of times you don't have a place that you can. I mean, unless you have a company that just pays you the cost of making it, That's
Which
typically
is
how it
not,
goes, right?
Again, it's like you don't have to be rich, but you got to be able to make a little bit of money so you can continue
Yeah.
making. I just don't.
This was this was under that window. I guess after this one, New Line took over, yeah? Or Dimension Films took over this franchise after this
Yeah.
one.
Honestly,
Right?
yeah. I would imagine that. I guess the only real answer is that you're going to have somebody, male or female, whatever, come in
cheap
and
car.
say, like, look, I'm going to, I'm going to go around the country and make deals with whichever drive-ins
Theater.
that I can find, or whichever little small theater, single theaters I can find,
Yeah.
and say, look, I can provide you movies
Yeah.
that.
But you have to
y-
present them or
If
show
you
them.
present them,
Yeah.
we can split it. If it's, I mean, obviously, like theaters would,
That's a lot
but
of work.
obviously they're paying the drive-in movies and stuff like, or whatever.
Yeah.
They pay a price to have movies there. They give a percentage of what they're selling.
Yeah. I wonder though too with these like even the cineplexes that we have here, right? Or just out are they contractually obligated to show certain movies? And if I say, "Hey, I want to put my movie in there," cuz sometimes at those AMCs, you'll see some weird feature film,
But
right?
they still all
What
of
is
that. Those are still
Studio movies.
studio.
Okay.
Even if they're small studios,
They'll
they're still
chuck 'em in there, right?
Yeah, they're still like
I
they've
see
got
some trailers
backers.
from
What you need is like, for example, you have the New Bev.
right.
Well, you have other theaters around the country that are like that are they may be rep houses, but they may
Right.
just be single houses.
Well,
that,
Alamo.
they may be small venues,
Right.
like privately owned or family owned.
I just don't think the level of effort Come on, man. Just stab her once.
Unless you were able to establish, because the thing is, I mean, this day and age is confusing, but the YouTube and the Venmo, the YouTube and the Venmo, the video, Vimeo and Voodoo,
Yeah.
like that's you're not
Amazon.
making any money. These people, there's
Yeah.
got to be a way.
My buddy made money off of documentaries that he sold on for Amazon, but Amazon just bought the production cost.
Yeah.
And I think there's also like a percentage too, like where they go, if whatever sells, you get 60%, we get 40.
It's almost like, well, that's what.
But it's not really like, who knows if they actually even watched it,
It's almost like it's got to start almost grassroots, like somebody. Let's say you. Let's just use you for
Yeah.
example. You would have to buy or lease whatever a place, a location
Yeah.
that you could screen films from all over the country. People who have
Made movies.
made movies that
We've talked about this already.
yeah, we have.
Yeah.
But it's how do you do that? How do
Yeah. I wonder about those smaller places too, because even like in my hometown, there's a place called the Esquire. That's basically the New Bev, or
Yeah.
was the New Bev, and they've sort of sold out to a lot of the studios. They'll show studio movies there, like the Lemley here, right? We
Yeah.
think the Lemley's like this art house place, but it shows studio movies.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
There's other places that don't show studio movies, and they show those really independent films, but those are still studio level movies. Now, what the biggest problem is, or this could be like kind of an interesting thing where you show local people's movies. So obviously the people in town will be like, "Oh, I got to go see that because they made a movie
Yeah.
in Cincinnati, Ohio, or Birmingham, Alabama." They will go to go see that just to support it. Now, how sustainable is that? Probably not so much, because
Yeah.
once you see it once, you're just kind of like, well, now you have to get more people to see it. You probably have to get like, Cincinnati's only a population like under 500,000 people.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like you would have to have
The audience has to
connections
show up.
throughout the country at small places
Yeah.
that would be interested. So you'd almost have to find these places online and find people that are interested. Hey, we'd love to screen stuff and
Right.
and maybe try to.
The only problem is nobody will go to those things, like, unless it's like the horror fans will always go to horror films.
Right, and that's the thing. I mean, that
You'd have to make a horror film.
You'd have to make a horror film, which
Yeah.
is or an exploitation film.
Exploitation.
grindhouse movie.
Which is probably what your point is, though, because it's like those movies are meant for the drive-in.
They're meant for driving
Yeah.
in lone places, and
But there might be a reason why you don't hear about those types of movies like on the regular basis. You know, you don't hear the Grindhouse movies were just like, you know, they didn't show up very long. It didn't.
but they made
exist very
money.
long.
You know, a lot of them made money because, I mean, not.
Sort
Oh,
of.
I don't want to say a lot of them. I'd say like some made money and some
Yeah.
didn't. Probably a lot didn't. And the same thing would happen
Probably.
now is like people would be like, hey. They'd send in this movie. Hey, I think this movie would be good for to play for a month at your place, and they're like, all right, and you sign maybe contracts for like a month. All right, we'll play this for a month,
Yeah.
or we'll play for 2 weeks. If it builds an audience, we'll keep it going, and we'll cut. We'll keep the cuts, and maybe
Yeah.
the cut.
I think the risk may be too much, though. That's the only problem.
That's the problem. You got to have people who are willing to risk.
So here, speaking of risk, Dr. Loomis is perfectly fine to use this girl to be bait.
exactly.
What kind of logic
Where did
is
it all
that?
change? Yeah.
And the cops are like, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. So she's just standing by the window combing her hair so Michael Myers will come get her? Is that how that works?
Pretty much.
This is pretty dumb.
He's a good actor.
Yeah.
He was in Frighteners, and
He always plays a cop, doesn't he?
yeah, he always plays a cop. He's good at it though, because he's and he can play an asshole, and he can play like this, like a nice guy.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's got much in between, but man, he's good at what he does when he does it.
This is a very strange setup because all the police and snipers are at this place preparing to fight Michael Myers. Man, this is.
Oh, there's
hey,
the
there's
thorn.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's a, did they make these because Jamie Lee Curtis didn't want to be involved? They just push forward, no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, she at this point she's a huge star.
Oh, okay.
I mean, Fish Called Wanda,
Yeah.
and
My
just
Girl.
a couple of years from this is True Lies.
True Lies, yeah.
She had done 48 Hours, and
So she's over it, huh?
well, yeah. I mean, she's such a huge star. Like, she doesn't need to. I mean, they can't even pay her what she probably is asking for
Yeah.
at this time.
That's kind of funny because they're like, you know it's going to make money, so just give her the payment she requires. Like, her coming back for H2O is probably a massive payday then.
Well,
You know what I mean? It's like, or she got a percentage of it.
I think that could be a possibility. I think it's partial that, and I think partial also by the time H2O came out, her career had started to come down.
Oh, yeah.
Her pinnacle was like True Lies.
Right.
That was like the biggest that she ever was going to be.
Right.
Um,
It's not like she ever had to work, or I guess if they presented a good script, it would have been worth it. She comes out for 2018 Halloween. I mentioned earlier that Dr. Loomis didn't show up in this as much, but I didn't realize he does.
he does, yeah.
Yeah, I was surprised.
These were his paydays.
Yeah. Figured he'd just come at for like 5 days and he'd be done,
Well, and the sad thing is by this point, I mean, he's closing in on the end of his life,
Yeah.
and he's just trying to keep money coming in, money on the table. I don't know if he was like a great investor. Like, I don't know business-wise, like outside of acting, if he was great, but
Yeah.
some were, some weren't.
So she's supposed to be a psychic.
Like, Burt Reynolds was terrible in business,
Yeah. So she has a psychic connection to her uncle. Is that how that works?
Yeah.
He's lost his mind. He's good. It's always funny in these types of movies because he's always the best thing in it, right?
He is. You know.
The series, he was the best thing.
Because he's a fantastic actor.
Yeah.
And, you know, and that's the sad thing. It's like,
To play
how can he
deranged.
not find more? How could not? It's not him. It's people didn't want to use him at this point. And nowadays, though,
They would beg.
people
to,
would
yeah.
beg to use
Yeah,
him.
yeah.
I mean, like, because you don't have many like him. You have
Yeah.
the Patrick Stewarts and you have the Ian McKellens.
Yeah.
That's why, like, an Ian McShane is still
They
necessary.
got that
'cause
face. Yeah.
the old English actor who's like getting on up there. You need these actors. They really make a movie.
Yeah.
You need less importance on the youth.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, regardless of like the quality of the movie itself, there's a maturity to it in terms of like people look like beaten down,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, young people making movies is fine, but when you have most of the people in Hollywood young and trying to be young, they just make movies with young.
Yeah.
They don't care about old as much.
And there is a certain gravity to having somebody like Donald Pleasance in
Yeah.
a movie. And John Carpenter certainly knew it,
Yeah.
you know? A lot of these guys, I think we were talking about it last time, was that it's just they're very faces that we put in movies. We really need more faces. And
Right.
instead we get the same cookie cutter, good looking people.
Yeah, you need the faces have the quality.
Yeah.
There's something like
something
real.
about them, yeah. You know, we talk about Body Snatchers and Billy Wirth. He was a
The boyfriend?
yeah.
Yeah.
He was in Lost Boys, and it was like they were all casted as like male models, really. You know. Now, I mean, not much material there to work for,
Right.
You know.
But that makes sense.
Even Vincent Gallo. I mean, he was probably the most model turned actor who wanted to be a super actor in the same vein as a Mickey Rourke.
Right.
You know. And I think we're missing a lot of that these days.
We are. I
Like
mean,
depth.
they even show it.
I think when I was this age, I really wanted Michael Myers to kill Dr. Loomis at this point.
Oh, I never did. I was like,
Oh.
I loved him too much.
Really?
I don't want to see him go.
Oh God, he annoyed me in this one.
He's needed.
Yeah.
Um,
This is a poorly conceived idea. It just gets worse. Like, okay, so, you know, if you read the script, you'd be like, okay, we're not going to do this, right? Like, it's like ridiculous.
it's like shoot him first and let her get out.
Yeah. Like, there's no common sense in any of this. And he's supposed to be, yeah.
But it is kind of. I mean, he's a good actor because he's going to be the hero even though he knows he's going to die.
Yeah. Sacrifices himself for the greater good. Okay, so we shot him with a shotgun and all these other things, but, you know, yeah, that doesn't work.
Oh God, what a brutal way.
Yep.
That's just disgusting.
He's just looking out the window.
But I think if you have your hands, you can stop yourself from hanging. You know.
I think so. Especially because that isn't exactly like a noose, so it doesn't
Yeah,
break
it's
your
not
neck.
really news. Yeah.
So this is Haddonfield, and I assume it's a small town, correct?
It's supposed to be.
All right. So it just baffles me that there isn't anybody from the first movie like just being like, we know about Michael Myers. Why don't you? It's like every time it seems like they're resetting the town
Right.
and their memory.
Well, if they were, you know, it's like shoulda, woulda, coulda, but
Yeah.
you know, they could have brought back Charles Cyphers. He didn't die in the second one. I mean, as far
Yeah.
as I remember, yeah, he didn't die.
No.
he was
You're
just
talking about the guy who slipped and fell?
no.
and-
Charles Cyphers is the Sheriff Brackett.
Okay.
So he doesn't die in the second one, and he could have come back in the fourth one or fifth one as like the retired sheriff that remembers those days, remembers what happened, and I mean that could have been really interesting because they could.
They kind of played that in the last one because Will Patton becomes that sheriff. He was there that day when they
But
shot.
he was a kid.
Yeah,
he was
yeah.
like
A junior deputy. I guess.
Yeah, well, either way, I don't. Yeah, it might have been that, but yeah,
Yeah.
he wasn't. You know, like for example, in the first two, the deputy, the blonde deputy, the big tall blonde deputy.
Yeah.
Like he never dies in the second one. They could have brought him back as like.
This
you
is what
know,
I was talking about. It's like, why doesn't the town?
It's just
you
the
know?
story, you know.
I'd like to have that
Those
connection.
are
It'd
actors
be
that
nice.
they could have gotten because they would have
Yeah.
wanted the work, but they didn't. You know, no, they may not have been acting anymore. At least that the deputy might not have been acting.
Yeah, and plus, I think sometimes I think like they like to reset it anyway, just because it's like so they can write their own story over again without the freedom of having to tell this story. Like it doesn't matter at this point. Like you said earlier, it's like what difference does it make at this? Like what difference does it make? They know this is disposable. You know?
Right.
But it is disappointing because you think that you're making another one and you're making something completely different. Like
Right.
you think you're making a classic like one, right?
Right.
Every time you make a movie, there's only I would say like a few people who think they're making just garbage. But like for the most part, if you're part of the, you know, the canon of Halloween, you want to do the best you can.
You would think, but you know, I mean, and that really boils down to because we don't know, like this director and the guy who did 4, we don't know who they were in the late 80s. Like they may have been these people that, you know, full of ego, full of hubris,
Yep.
that thought they were going to be the next Orson Welles, and they were just doing this for some money.
Yeah.
And they may have been doing coke because there's a lot of coke being done
Yeah.
during these days, and especially in the business.
My friend who was in Alien versus Predator,
Yeah.
the second one, Requiem, I told him, like he told me he was in that movie, and I go, oh man, he's actually one of the leads, and I go, wow, that's amazing, and he goes, it's a piece of shit.
Right.
So I think they know if they're in a piece of shit, regardless of the,
Yeah.
you know.
Okay.
I'm just always impressed if they can actually make a movie, you know, or finish it.
I mean, well, believe me, like, you know, for the most part, you're going to finish a movie if somebody's got some money behind it.
Yeah.
Whether you're
If it's good
whether,
enough.
whether you start it and end it is a different story.
Yeah.
I mean, you may not be there at the end, but it's going to get made.
It's gonna get
It's
made.
going to get made. I mean, obviously there are stories where it never got made.
Finished.
What? Yeah,
Like finished?
finished, but like nailed that infamous, you know, the infamous Jake Gyllenhaal, James Caan, directed by David O. Russell.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
There's a movie that's just
that
been
they
shelved?
shot the whole movie.
Wow.
Banner edited it, was the assistant editor.
Yeah.
Shot the whole movie.
Uh-huh.
But it was
released
so
it.
bad they wanted to do some
Wow.
reshoots,
Yeah.
and I don't think they ever got the reshoots done. But that was a lot of people don't know about it, but that was like a failure
Yeah.
for David O. And that was before his comeback with The Fighter.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
There was something between that.
it was
wow.
the Nailed. It was
Wow.
it was weird political
Is it out
kind
there
of
somewhere?
comedy or something. What?
Can you see it somewhere out there?
I don't think so. I think it's going to be
No?
one of those like the day the
Yeah,
laughter
the-
dies. But,
The day
but
the
so they're-
clown cried.
Or the day the clown cried. Yeah, Day Laughter Dies is our friend Andrew Dice Clay. But yeah, the day the clown cried.
Wait a minute. Let's step back here. They lit a lot of candles for this. What the ever loving fuck?
This is where he's been living.
Wouldn't you think he would be, just after he killed that shack guy, he would just live in his shack? There's a lot of ice skates
Yeah.
up here. Like, I'd live in the shack. Where's he dig up that many candles?
Poor dog.
Oh, God.
Oh, shit.
She didn't see that coming up? That was weird.
Oh, God.
Oh,
How
Ellie.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
If they are connected,
I know.
if they are connected spiritually, shouldn't he be feeling what she's feeling right now? Just goes one way.
There is a connection, though. You'll see it in a second. There's a little connection they have.
Yeah. Oh, he just wants to play.
Wants to play, baby. Oh, look at her. She's just a little sweet girl. It's so sad that she kind of didn't get to have much more of a career, but
Danielle Harris.
yeah.
She was more than happy to come back for any Halloween. She openly has expressed.
Oh, fuck.
I don't know if that was my niece, I'd just start stabbing.
Uncle
Sorry,
Boogeyman.
Kayla.
Uncle Boogeyman.
Uh,
Oh, you mean your niece is going to listen to this?
Yeah,
She's going to
probably
listen
not.
to this filth?
Who knows?
Oh, let me see.
Oh, yeah. That's right. This is what makes this Halloween so weird, is we do get a good glimpse at what Michael Myers looks like.
But he's got all that hair.
How old is he supposed to be in this?
He's got to be in his 30s.
That's right. He was only a baby when this happened.
Is that supposed to be his?
Yeah.
It's his tear.
It's a weird framing. Well, so much for his... No, she can keep screaming. He's crazy. He sacrifices the girl. Yes.
Another throwback to the first one.
Yes. Does he do that in the first one?
Oh yeah, there's the.
Oh,
scene
for the Lord,
when she
yeah.
when she falls down and falls off.
Uncle. Did Lori have a sister or a brother?
Well, that's her brother, Michael Myers.
Oh, fuck. Yeah. Ugh. So,
Or supposedly, right?
oh God, I'm a retard. So she is Laurie Strode's daughter?
Yes.
And Strode is the name of the ambulance driver from the second one.
No, the ambulance
Who's that?
driver is I can't remember his last name, but he has a little brother Ziggy.
Who's the guy who slips on the blood and knocks himself out?
Yeah, he's got his little brother Ziggy that we never see in the series, which I think would be cool. If
Okay,
we got to see
so it's Ziggy
but-
Strode? Or Ziggy?
No, they're not Strodes.
Oh, okay. Really?
Yeah, I don't know what their last names are, but it's
Okay, so who is the father of this girl?
well, she was given up for adoption.
Right.
And so the
So
parent,
confused.
like Strode. Oh, who is her father?
Yeah, who's her father?
Good question.
Because what I've heard is it's the actual that ambulance driver from part 2.
Could
he
be.
had that thing. He survives. He gets knocked out.
He does. He survives.
And then he almost gives off their position.
Could
because-
be, and you could get that actor. He still acts. Flight of the
Yeah.
not Flight of the Navigator, but
Well, they never explain where he is.
or yeah, he's Flight of the No, he's. What was the movie he was in?
Got me.
The science fiction one from the early '80s,
Daryl?
where he's the computer game, or he plays the arcade. It's not Flight of the Navigator. But
It's not Kroll.
no, it's
Ooh, movie poster right there. Last Starfighter?
Last Starfighter, yeah.
That's him?
Yeah, that's him.
He
So
looks so different there.
it was like the same time.
That's-
Last Starfighter is weird. I hadn't seen that for a long time, but that was a.
I saw that at the New Bev on a matinee.
Oh yeah.
It's
Does it hold up?
really trying to be a Spielberg movie,
Right.
and then it gets really weird.
You could have gotten that actor again.
Yeah. But I think he is supposedly, I've heard somewhere that is his, because you know how he had a crush on her.
Yeah.
He kept checking in on her.
Well, and they flirt. Yeah.
Yeah, they flirt a
He
lot.
could be. It could be.
I think that's what I heard.
It could be. And the two of them ran off.
Yeah.
You know, when they, which is weird that she'd have. I mean, obviously you can make a story. Oh, here comes the stranger.
He kills everyone in the police station
Yeah.
and then takes off with Michael Myers. This is the ex machina,
Yeah, it's so weird.
Deus ex machina. I mean, I get that they constantly want to try to keep the franchise alive, but come on, man.
Yeah, it's weird.
Why?
This is really cheesy. This is like, I actually kind of miss these movies that they're this cheesy. This is video cheesy.
Yeah.
That's total video
Yeah,
cheesy.
yeah.
Slow motion like that.
This movie, okay, that's what it feels like. This movie feels like a straight-to-video movie, right?
And it is. It's a straight to video movie.
But it went to the theaters.
I don't think this did.
It never did?
And if it did, it was so
No.
few. That's what I'm saying. I guarantee. I know
Because
five.
this came out I know this came out really fast.
That,
and
they shot them back to back.
I
Number
kept getting this confused with 4.
4, I think, had a little bit of a theatrical
It's
release,
good.
but not
Yeah.
much. This didn't go very many places. It never
Yeah.
came to Birmingham.
Right.
What I'm getting at is that it was straight to DVD or straight to video because that was a new thing. Think
Yeah.
about that. Oh, we can make movies that are
Yeah.
straight to video now?
Yeah. They got their money and
Because
they just,
VHS
whatever.
had become so big and popular then.
And who would have taken this movie anyway? They looked at it and was like, "Oh God, no." But
And
you know,
that-
it is still Halloween, I guess.
Yeah. But it's funny, the straight to video, which was so popular then, and especially in the 90s, it was super popular.
Yep.
That's what we went through recently with the straight to Netflix and straight to Amazon.
Yeah.
And that you're kind of still seeing, but it doesn't feel like it's the same anymore because Amazon and Netflix, they've actually built their brand.
Yeah.
They don't need those
They
movies
produce
anymore.
their own content.
So where's the places that need the content sent to them?
You know, I keep thinking, like, this family just can't. It's just come on,
I mean, you're always going to have
That is so
people.
bizarre.
It's very bizarre.
Yeah.
It's just. I mean, even look at these titles are not even right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
it's
just get done with this and you go, what?
well, it's definitely a trip down memory lane. I had seen that movie when I first became aware of it because I was such a fan of the series. I remember seeing this a good number of times and always just it was like this is just not right.
Yeah,
it
something
just
feels
sits with you wrong.
Wrong, yeah, yeah.
Oscar Zogby.
And it's even weirder because
But all
this
these
is
stories, like I
considered-
want to know Jerry Brady. Look him up. What is he
It's
doing?
it's considered a studio movie,
I mean,
so
yeah,
it's really like, why did they collectively do this?
just to make money, a quick buck, and they probably did on VHS. Like
yeah.
they probably made some
The
good
sales,
money. They made
the
it cheap,
rentals.
and they probably made something good.
Yeah.
It's
What was his
just-
name? Jerry Brady?
Jerry Brady. Let's just see. I always like to.
He may
Find
have
one-
gone as Gerald Brady. Oh, here it is. So he did Boiling Point with Wesley Snipes.
Okay.
He did Halloween 5. He did... Oh, not much.
Really?
Yeah, he didn't do that much. The ones that he's listed for. He stopped in 1993.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nothing. He didn't do any other thing.
Boiling Point was 1993.
Like not even edit. Like he didn't do any
no
other
TV,
kind
no
of.
nothing. Five credits to his name.
Jeez.
I don't know.
That is.
Maybe
I
it's-
want to know what happened with that dude.
Maybe.
Like, I can't imagine that his life was just wrecked by this movie or something.
Possibly. Quite possibly.
I guess, but
Well,
it
he
just
did-
seems. It just seems like it's just one thing. You know, you're just jumping from.
Yeah. Yeah. Five credits.
I mean, K
Yeah,
and B
especially
was
as a
nothing, dude.
yeah, they moved on. But like even as a just a simple, just TV or whatever. Hey, Dwight Little. That's the fourth one. Fourth one? Yeah, fourth one.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I don't know, man. Definitely a strange
Sister.
one.
DV8.
I'm sorry if people who are listening to this is their favorite one because it's pretty bad.
It's bad. It's just that it's Diggy de Boogity. Diggy de Boogity.
Is that the name of the song? What is
That
that?
was just some. It
Some
was
guy?
like a company, like a music company.
Yeah.
Um.
I mean, you really had to take a lot of effort
Yeah.
to
Salt
make
Lake
this.
City.
Back
Oh,
then.
travel services, Glendora.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Veracay
there's a lot of-
Sarabande.
Yeah, that used to be the big.
Veracay Sarabande used to be big.
Yeah, they did all the soundtrack music. Like they put the soundtrack on
See,
a
look,
tape.
Trancas International Films. That's not a Galaxy International release. Like,
Who
what
are
the
these
fuck
people?
is that?
Yeah, it's not Universal.
What is Galaxy International?
I'm not gonna look at that.
I mean, that's what I'm talking
they'll
about.
be like, "What
where-
the fuck are you talking about?"
And where are those companies now?
Yeah,
We need those companies. We need companies like that to exist to
I
bring
don't-
on films.
I mean,
to bring on cheap filmmakers.
that's like lower than Golan Globus.
But you need that to
The
be
Cannon
able to-
Group?
You need stuff like that. I don't you agree? You need that to get movies made.
Well, that's kind of like, okay, there's a lot of people who do kind of do that though, right? Like, just we don't know
Who?
about them.
Well, I'm asking who.
Israeli companies. It would.
Yeah,
It
I
seems
guess.
like foreign names. Like these are words put together by foreign people. These are words that you would not put together if they were like, full English speakers. They don't speak good English like we do.
I mean,
but it feels
maybe
like-
the foreign market is where we need to look and see if like there's like
Most definitely.
people will take.
Yeah.
If we have features,
There's a lot of money out there that isn't American that obviously we have friends who do foreign market stuff that have sponsorship.
But well,
If they like the American person, I guess.
well,
And if
or
you're
the
American-
product. I mean, if it's like a cheap lowball, lowbie
Yeah.
kind of company.
But
That's
the
like,
other
look,
thing is, I've dealt with foreign companies before, and they are not the most pleasant people to deal with either. Because you're talking about like even $300,000 to a Korean company is $300,000 to a Korean company. They expect something in return.
well, yeah, you give them
know?
a movie. I mean,
Well, They want stuff back. But
There-
Halloween 5, I mean, now that you mention it, I didn't realize how super low budge this really is.
super low budge.
Like low rent, let's say. Not low budge, but low rent.
It's low rent as hell.
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely.
It seems like Mustafa just sort of said, just
well, he
make, I don't
probably-
care,
look,
just make
he-
me something.
He probably knew that, like, look, we're going to go straight to VHS,
Saw the writing on the wall.
and we, but he knew that, like, look, we'll make it cheap, and we'll get a big portion of the video rentals.
Yeah.
I mean, they got that.
Yeah, that is the market.
It's like,
Back
but that
then.
doesn't exist anymore because it's like if it,
Streaming.
like if it's streaming, they're still trying to figure out how do you get any kind of money for that. You don't. You just get a price.
I would say that is probably the you remember like back in when Blockbuster was still the thing, they would pay any filmmaker $100,000 if they gave them product. They gave you a contract for
Right.
$100,000 if you just gave
Right.
them a product.
Yeah.
Just make it 90 minutes
Right.
because they needed to stock the shelf somehow.
They need that now.
They needed something. Well, I mean, Vidiot's may be the start of something that's reopening. Vidiot's.
Maybe, yeah, but
Yeah.
it's. I mean, I haven't heard anything of them like producing movies.
What do you think they're going to put in there? VHS? DVD?
I don't know. Didn't they do? Well, they did
did
VHS, and
VHS.
DVD before.
Yeah.
So it's probably the same.
Okay.
It's a rental place, Blu-ray.
Blu-ray?
You know.
Okay.
Um,
That's going to be strange having a video store again, isn't it?
I mean, it'll be like the new Bev. I think it'll be unique. It'll
Yeah.
be fun to go to, especially because it'll be in Echo Park.
Yeah.
I'd rather deal with that traffic than going down
Me
to
too.
Santa Monica
Oh,
and
absolutely.
like dealing with that.
Absolutely. So Vidiot's going to open up again.
And it's going to have a little theater.
Oh, dude, that's cool. That's actually cool.
It's
Is
very
it
cool.
You said it was connected to the Alamo?
It connected as in like the Alamo is helping fund it.
Okay.
Not
cool.
connected like
Physically,
physically,
okay.
but yeah, they're helping. They're in somehow. I don't know if they're lending their name, but either way, it's in conjunction with like
Right.
Alamo is helping Vidiots do
Right.
this.
Well, listen, we survived Halloween 5.
Fuck, we did. We survived.
You know what? As I was sitting here, I thought to myself, I feel less Halloween after watching Halloween 5 than ever.
Well, you know how you know
This
what
is
I
the
feel.
least
I feel
Halloween.
like after seeing that, it definitely it makes me
Curse
feel.
is bad.
Huh?
Curse is bad, but this I
Curse is
think
bad.
this may be worse.
This is worse, definitely. Here's the thing. I feel. Oh, there's that feeling of when I was 10 years old or 9 years old and seeing this.
Nostalgia.
It's got that nostalgia feel of those types of movies, those
Right.
straight to video. So there's a little something I get out of it. I
Consider
do get a
this.
little bit of a kick out of it.
This is pre-90s
Yeah.
horror, which is really bizarre to me because they had a chance to make something maybe less 90s than it ended up being, or late 90s.
Well, this doesn't. Here's the thing. This doesn't feel 90s. This
No?
definitely feels 88, 89.
Okay.
It's just
cheaply made.
It's cheaply made, but the style, everything looks 88, 89.
Yeah,
It doesn't have that slickness of the 90s yet.
not yet.
And
yeah.
and
The Wes Craven
and
later
something
years.
about from 90 to 92.
No.
There's
In horror films.
things started changing. People's looks started changing. Like it got away from the big hair, got more into the grunge, obviously.
Yeah. Gothy.
Certainly by 92, but
Like-
90, 91, it just a little bit. There was a definite change,
Yep.
and you start seeing that with
Slicker.
Slicker.
You know what it is? I'll tell you what it is. Music video director started directing.
Yeah.
Um,
So things had
Yeah.
much more of a slick vibe.
yeah, because if you look at Halloween 6, that's all. It looks like one big music video.
Right.
They shot it looking like a
And
music
now
video.
everything looks like one big commercial.
Yeah.
Because there are no music videos anymore.
darker.
It's commercials. So commercial directors, they're the new music video directors.
Yeah.
You pick your commercial directors to make these movies.
I miss the music video guys. There's a couple of friends I
I-
know who direct music videos now that have that quality.
It's
but
the circle of life, bro.
I miss
It's when the music video
Sucks.
directors came in, everybody that was of our age was like, "Oh God, they're getting music video directors." Now they clamor, "God, I wish
Yeah.
we had the
Yeah.
music video directors now because the
Yeah.
commercial stuff is too bright and poppy and gross."
Yeah.
It's not, the 70s, the OGs,
Yeah.
they were drinking,
Yeah,
smoking,
yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
people,
Coking up.
whatever it was.
Yeah.
But they were like grounded. But you know why? Because they read.
Yeah.
They were really well read.
Yeah.
They
They have
loved
a lot
literature.
of lot of life experience.
They had a lot
What-
of life experience by then.
What those guys were doing, well,
They were artists.
They
They
were
were-
definitely artists, but and they cared about art. That's the other thing. That's all they.
They cared about art.
But the newer guys are just referencing other movies. These guys in today's society,
And it's too
referencing
nice.
other-
Yeah, it's too buddy.
Yeah.
It's too like you wouldn't see John Carpenter putting Brian De Palma in his movie, or maybe that's bad. Martin Scorsese.
They're being influenced by the correct. Oh, it's a bad way to put this, but they're
Huh.
being influenced by the right people. Like John Carpenter's Howard Hawks,
Right.
So
De Palma,
versus
a lot of foreign influence.
versus we only have today's young group reference each other or somebody within 5 or 6 years of themselves versus
Well-
when we were growing up we referenced Friedkin and
There's no doubt.
Donner and,
There's no doubt that there's a reason why when you take Tarantino and PT,
yeah
there was a change with Tarantino. We know that, and we're still feeling Though, I mean, it's still constantly changing, but that there's a lot of people that would never watch a movie before Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that exists. That's a big thing, and that's a lot of.
It's 94.
Paul Thomas is very old school,
Yeah.
and there's a reason why his movies don't make a lot of money.
Yeah.
But he's the one that's really invested in the artistry. And I'm not saying Tarantino's not, because he is. Because all those people inspired him too. It's just that Tarantino has a pop sense.
Yeah.
PT doesn't have a pop sense. He has an artistry sense, an artistic, just a grounded, gritty sense. And they're both great. But that's because Tarantino's a master at his style.
Yeah.
And other people try to, and this is getting confusing. I'm just saying that, like,
Stick to the Halloween ideas.
yeah.
In terms of Halloween, I mean, even the newest one, I was sort of like, it felt derivative. It felt kind of lacking. Something was lacking.
It was, look, it
a
was
movie by committee.
It was The Force Awakens. It was just
Gave us
it
enough
gave
that
the
we're
audience
like,
what they wanted. It just said, look, we're not going to try anything new. Here you go.
Yeah.
That's all it did.
Yeah.
And I liked it. I didn't love it.
Yeah.
I wanted to love it, but
I know, me too.
it's not going to happen.
That's why I was so disappointed, because I was like, this is so
And I want
bland.
I want everybody out there to know it will never happen. If you love the originals, you will never, ever see a remake that you're going to love, no matter what you say. There might be, and even though the Halloween was not a remake, it pretty much is a remake in a lot of ways. But it's the same idea. So they didn't do anything different with the story. They never will. That's just a fact of life.
Yeah. And on that note, thank you for listening, and sorry we depressed the hell out of you.
Yeah.
With this
Fuck
Halloween
y'all.
fun.
But happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween, everyone.